You're listening to the Create What You Speak podcast, where I invite you to come along with me as we shape our own reality together. My intention is to bring out the magic in you. Now let's get started.
Run away from the humdrum. We'll go to a place that is safe from greed, anger, and boredom. We'll dance and sing till sundown and feast with abandon. We'll sleep when the morning comes and we'll rise by the sound of the bird song.
My name is Sloan Fremont, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you have a say in deciding that it's taken care of. And when I say it, I mean anything, everything, all of the above. Everything you want in your life, you get to decide that it's taken care of. It's all taken care of.
I won't let you down. I will not give you up. Gotta have some faith in the sound. It's the one thing that I've got. I won't let you down. So please don't give me up. 'Cause I would really love to stick around, oh yeah.
All right, welcome to the show. This is the Create What You Speak podcast, where we talk about real life things. And what I have come to learn is that in order to change your life, you actually have to change the thoughts that you're thinking. And that's what we do on this show. We talk about all the ways that you can do that. And so this week's show wraps up our February monthly magical intention of you have a say in it. You really have a say in anything and everything in your life, right? So we've explored some different topics over this month we talked about you have a say in the fear in your life, you have a say in your beliefs, and last week we talked about you have a say in your standards. And so this week is all about you have a say in deciding that it's taken care of. And when I say it, like I said at the intro on the show, that goes for anything in your life. You get to decide it's just taken care of. And when you actually believe that and operate from that frame of mind, you start to find that all this other stuff starts to fall away. And the energy that you used to spend on worrying and fretting and planning and controlling and try to do all of this stuff, right? It falls away. And it gets to be replaced with a more softer and gentler approach to living, because you know it's taken care of, because you have that trust in that, and you just believe that everything is working out for you. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. But before I get into that, I wanted to give you one quick update here. And I wanted to tell you about my experience with the Body Built by Love course that I'm in. So Body Built by Love by Steph Hendel. She's a sponsor of the show. And we're down to week 11 in this course with one more week to go. I don't even know that I can put into words. I've talked about this a lot over the past 12 or 11 weeks about different things I'm learning about myself through this process, but I really don't think I can fully yet put into words how life-changing this course has been for me. And this course and what I learned from the teachings of Abraham Hicks, these are the two biggest things that have changed my life, without a doubt. Like, I can 100% say without any doubt that these two people have changed my life, like, in epic ways. And the things I've learned over these past 11 weeks about myself, like about loving myself, but that's been part of it, like obviously a really big part of it, but I've experienced it so much in so many different areas. Like I still, like I said, I don't think it's all come together for me yet. Like I haven't even been able to like process it all. But I went into this, like I joined the course because I wanted to approach, like, I don't want to use the word weight loss, right? I'm going to use like changing my body, but I wanted to approach this from a place of love, like for myself, right? And I got so much more out of this. Like, again, I'll be talking about it over the next, who knows how long, but I wanted to bring that up today because I highly recommend, like, if you are looking for change in your life, reach out to Steph and just talk to her about the course. Talk to her about Body Built by Love and see if it's a fit for you. She's very nice. She's very approachable. She has been an amazing coach. And so if you are even the slightest bit interested, reach out to her. The course, like I said, it's called Body Built by Love, and you can find all the details about how to contact her in the show notes. All right, so let's get on to this week's show and our topic of you have a say in it, believing that it's taken care of. Okay, so this is one of the topics we talked about in Body Built by Love. And when we were talking about this, we were talking something to the effect of just deciding that something is going to happen, right? Like just making the decision that I'm the type of woman that this happens for, right? Like I just decide that I'm going to do this now. Like I decide that I'm going to change my body in the way I want it to, or I'm going to decide that things start to go a different way for me, and I'm no longer tolerating things like in my relationships or my job or with my family or whatever. And that's like we were discussing how powerful that is to make a decision, right? Like, this is how it's going to go for me from now on, right? Like, when you decide something, it's like the universe moves mountains for you, right? Because you've decided how it's going to go. And as I was thinking about this for today's show, it reminded me way back on one of the earlier episodes I did. And this was probably like episode 1 or 2 of the podcast. But I talked about how I did that when I changed my life and moved to Nashville. Like, it was the decision, like when I made the decision to move, and then all the other decision points that I made along the way. And after I did that, and I had, I was having these moments about the decisions, right? And there was this one time when I was buying my house that I have here, and I was talking to with my realtor about this, because she was very like interested in how I had done this and like my decisions. She was very much like in support of me. And we talked about how I made the decision. And then one day we were driving to look at a house, and she was like, yeah, you've decided, and now everyone else can get information, right? Like, we used to say that, like, everyone can get information, right? I used to like put my finger and like go in the air, right? Like, everyone, this is how this is going to go, and everyone can get information. And so one of my favorite examples from that time in my life has been almost 3 years ago now, but we were finalizing the paperwork to close for the house I bought, and all this great stuff had happened, right? This was the first house I looked at. Like, all the homes in Nashville, like, people were having like multiple offers, and people were having to like compete, and people were making offers on homes that they didn't even look at because they were going so fast. And mine was just different. Mine happened differently. I was the only one that made the offer. It went very smoothly. But so we were coming down to the paperwork, and she was asking, well, how much do you want to ask the seller for in closing cost? And I said, well, let's ask for $10,000. She was like, no way. You're never going to get that. Like, you're never going to get that. She's like, maybe like 500 or 1,000 or something. And I was like, nope, 10,000. I made the decision. I want it to go that way so everyone can get information, right? And guess what? I got the $10,000 for the closing costs from the seller, just like I wanted. And she couldn't believe it. She was like, I've never had this happen. I've been selling houses here for 5 years, and nobody ever gets this much. And I was like, well, I made a decision. What do you want me to say? And so making decisions they're just so powerful, because it's like, that's where we draw the line in the sand, and we say, like, not only to the universe, but we say to ourselves, like, I'm no longer putting up with getting less than I deserve, or the scraps, right, or less than I want. I'm making the decision. This is how it's going to go from now on. And so the day we were talking about this, about decisions in the Body Built by Love course, Steph said one other thing that day, and it had me like, okay, this is good. And so it like actually made me turn my head, like, like what? And so what she said was that you get to decide that it's taken care of. And I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I do, right? Like, because I get to decide anything and everything and how I want my life to go, I also get to decide that it's taken care of. Like, I have a say in that. I get to make that call. I get to, make the decision. It's taken care of. And that means everyone and everything gets information, right? And I was like, holy shit, like, yes, like that adds a whole other level of power to deciding something when you decide it and you also choose to believe that it's taken care of. Right? You decide it, but then on top of the decision, you decide to believe that it's taken care of. And so I want to tell you another story to illustrate how I did this in my own life just recently and what the results were. So I'm on this project for work that has been somewhat difficult for me pretty much from the start. And I came in thinking I was going to be doing more of the stuff that I really enjoy doing, which is like process improvement and like just figuring out like where are we at currently, where do we want to go, what are the breaks in our process, what are the pain points, how can we fix that? Like that's the kind of stuff that I really, really love to do. And so I started kind of doing some more of the strategy and planning stuff, which is that early phase of a project, like how you get it going, which is also fine. I love doing that. But in that, I was also managing people, which I did not love. Like I love to manage my own projects or parts of a project, but the people aspect, I do not enjoy managing people, and it's very draining for me and not something that I want to do. And so this whole project really had been struggling, and I'm in this space where I'm managing people and I'm hating it, right? Because I'm doing some of the strategy work that I want to do, but I'm really spending most of my days like putting out fires on these calls, like dealing with stupid like personnel shit that I don't care about or want to deal with. And it felt like it was sucking the life out of me, right? Like I would have these really long days, and by the end of the day, like I couldn't even, like I was so drained and so tired. And I finally got to this point. This went on for like probably 4 months, and I was like, something has to change. Like I can't do this anymore. This doesn't work for me. Like I made a decision, right? Something is changing. And so I considered looking for another job, but that wasn't feeling really good because I do like the company I work for. I get to work from home, I have a flexible schedule. We have a lot of other perks that I really like about it. So looking for another job just didn't feel that appealing to me. And so I started then to do what I usually do when something I don't like is happening at work, and I just decided how I wanted it to go. So in this instance, I started saying things to myself like, I'm on a project doing the work that I love with people who value my skill set and who appreciate the work that I do. And I just decide that that's taken care of. It's done. It's handled. It's working itself out. It's happening. Like it's handled, right? It's taken care of. And this is the kind of stuff, so I just started doing this. Like, I just, like, whatever. Like, it wasn't like I have to wait till Monday morning to start. No, I started thinking those thoughts. Like, I was choosing my thoughts. I was being very particular with my thoughts. And so, a couple of days of this go by, and I'm still not seeing any results on the outside, right? I'm not, like, instantly seeing something change in front of me. But it really didn't take that long. I think it only took, like, 3 days for this change to happen. And so, a couple of days are going by, and there was this mention suddenly of this restructure of the way the teams were set up. So this had not been discussed prior to me deciding things needed to change for me. This just came up during that process where I'm saying, like, things have to change and deciding that it's taken care of. And so we're having some conversations around this, and I'm thinking, like, do I really want to manage people with this restructure? Like, is this my out? Like, can I do something different? And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, no, I don't want to manage people, but now, I also don't want to go backwards, right? Like, I don't want to go to where I'm not managing people because that feels like a demotion, and I'm not really interested in that. And so I was kind of playing this out in my head, and I was like, you know what? Here's how this is going to go. I'm on a project doing the work that I love with the people who value my skill set and appreciate the work that I do, and I decide it's taken care of. It's handled. It's worked itself out. And so this was a couple days, and then it was a particular Thursday of that same week, like just a couple days, and we had this meeting about this possible restructure. And the way we left it was I was still going to manage one of the teams, and okay, fine, whatever. And I was going to be off that next day, and I was like, well, I'll just deal with you guys on Monday when I get back, and whatever, right? So I'm still a little uncomfortable because I'm like, damn, did I miss my out? Should I have like spoke up? And I was like, you know what? Nope, it's taken care of. It's done. It's handled. It's working itself out. And so the next day is Friday, which is the day I'm off. And obviously, if I'm on my day off, I'm not waking up early. And so I wake up, I don't know, like 9:30 probably. And I have a call from the program manager on the team who had called me at 7:30 in the morning my time. Okay, well, I'm off. Everybody knew I was off, so I was pissed off immediately because I'm like, why do you wait till the day I was off to call me, right? And but then I'm also thinking, all right, well, this isn't good. Why is he calling me, right? And so I text one of the other guys, and they're in this meeting to discuss this restructure, and I'm like, am I out? And he was like, yeah, they just announced it. And he's like, you and another person are out, and they're redoing things. And I was like, what's happening on the call? He's like, everybody's silent, like nobody's saying anything. And so he's giving me this play-by-play via text message because I'm off, so I'm not on this call, and I refuse to join because it's my day off, right? And another guy texts me, he's like, are you aware of these changes? And I'm like, yep. And then I'm like, you know what? No. Like, I start to get really pissed. Like, I'm furious because why did they wait until the day I was off to try to talk to me about this, right? Like, we left this Thursday afternoon as I was still going to be leading, and now I'm, like, getting this in my mind. It feels like a demotion. And, like, why is this happening? Like, no, this isn't the way that I wanted this to go. And so I think about this all weekend, and I'm going from this place to, like, fury and rage to, like, I get this shred or, like, this inkling of this thought of, like, wait a minute, you got what you wanted. You didn't want to manage people anymore. You got that. Like, you don't have to do that part of the job that you hate anymore. And I'm having this, like, internal battle with myself, right? Like, yeah, but why did it have to go down this way? Like, I didn't want it to go down like that. But then my mind was saying back to me, like, yeah, but you won. Like, you got what you wanted. And you won, right? Who cares what they think about you? Like, you got what you wanted. You decided it was taken care of, and it was. And so I'm having this like back and forth with myself. And so I want to tell you more about this, but I'm going to leave it right there and I'll continue after the break.
Thanks for listening to Create What You Speak, now sponsored by Steph Hendel and her Body Built by Love community, where women around the world are realizing that they are not broken and are losing the weight they've been struggling with for years through learning to love themselves again.
Okay, so welcome back from the break. And I was just talking about how I was having this argument in my mind with myself with this restructuring of the job situation I was in, and how I actually realized once I got over my fury and rage that I had actually won. Like, I got what I wanted, right? And so I was still, having this moment in my mind where I was angry because I was angry the way it went down. But then I kept going back to, but you got it. You got what you wanted. It was handled. And so the thing about all of this with my position I'm in is it doesn't matter what role I play on the project. I'm paid the same. So managing people, not managing people, still paid the same. So now that I'm not managing people and not having to be like on all these pointless meetings, I'm like, wait a minute, like that's going to free up so much of my time. Like I'm not going to have to deal with this shit, and I'm not going to have this exhaustion, and I'm not going to feel like, why am I even here? I'm doing, my life is totally going to change now. And so I'm like, okay, and I'm starting to feel better about this because, again, I can see that I won. I got what I wanted. And I don't give a fuck what the others think about it. And so, okay, here I am, right? And so I go back, after the next week, and I'm like, all right, so what am I actually supposed to do now? Because I'm so used to doing so much, right? And now that's all off my plate. And so, it's, I go back and it's a little awkward because no one really knows what to do because the whole team is restructured and everybody's kind of like, so you're not a manager? And I'm like, no. And so it's not really being communicated very well. And, the other lead, he's out. And so there was just a little like dysfunction happening there. And so we have some meetings and various things. And how it turns out is I end up getting to do the process work that I wanted to do. Like, the way this all unfolded was I got exactly what I wanted. So I'm doing this process work that I love to do, and it actually just came right to me. Like, I didn't have to search for it or, like, try to make it happen. Like, it literally just came right to me. And, again, which was exactly what I wanted. And so when this finally all comes together in my head and I'm realizing that, okay, yeah, I got what I wanted. Like, I get to do the work that I love on a project. People are listening to me now, right? Because this is my thing. Like, this is where I believe I bring the most value. Like, this is where I shine, and people can see that because because I enjoy it. Like, I like it, right? And they're valuing this because they realize how much this is needed. And now that I'm freed up to do that, like, I can do that and bring that to this project. And so, I don't feel like they didn't value me like before, but I felt like that I don't like managing people, so I wasn't good at it. Like, it just wasn't what I wanted to do, and that showed. And so now I'm doing something that I love, and that shows, right? And people could see that and appreciate it and appreciate me for what I was doing. And so again, I tell you all this as an example to illustrate the power of not only a decision, but deciding that whatever it is that you want is taken care of. Because when I first heard that phrase and started thinking about like changing how things were with my job, I remember I went to bed with like such a knowing, like such conviction about, yes, it's taken care of. Like, I would say this in my mind, like, it's taken care of. And I went to bed feeling that way, like so sure of it. And I woke up feeling that way, like so sure of it. And in the end, it was like, it didn't quite work out the way I thought it would. And I'm not exactly happy with the way it was handled, but no one's going to remember that anyway. And in the end, I got what I wanted. It was taken care of. And the other part of this is when I had decided things needed to change with the job and I wanted things to go differently, this process stuff that I really wanted to work on, it was not on anyone's radar. It wasn't even an option of something that anyone was discussing that needed to be done. And I couldn't see anything about it, right? There was nothing like, I wasn't like thinking, I'll be able to do this. Like, I'll be able to pick this up. No, absolutely not. Like, I didn't even know anything about it, but it still happened. Like, it came to me. It got literally dumped in my lap. And so I got what I wanted easily. Like, it came to me so easily. And even though I couldn't see it when I made the decision things needed to change, I had no idea that this was going to even be an option for me to do. So again, a story, an illustration to show you the power of a decision, and even more the power of a decision and then deciding that whatever that decision is that you make, whatever that it is that you want, that it's taken care of. All right, so as you move forward this week and we close out this month's topic of you have a say in it and deciding that it's taken care of, I would ask you to start using that phrase in your life about anything and everything in your own life, like especially those areas that you're struggling in. Like, just decide that it's taken care of. Just decide. Decide it's going to work. Decide it's going to go your way. Decide it's unfolding even though you can't see it. Just decide it's taken care of and start to see how your life changes as you actually start to embody that and believe that with conviction. And so the last element of this that I want to share today is it's something I used in this. I started to use in the job thing, but it happened so fast I didn't really get the time. But it's something I'm using now that I've seen that power of that, and I have the example in my own life. Like I'm doing this in other areas, and so this is something I'm doing with that process of deciding that it's taken care of. Is that I'm writing this down. I'm writing these decisions down, and that's helping me. In some of these areas, maybe I feel like I'm not as strong in as far as my conviction or beliefs yet. Like I'm still working towards that. So writing it down is helping me. And I hope this helps you too, because I think it's also great. Once you start doing this, you can read back through this, and it's just another way to like retrain your mind to think those thoughts that you want to think. So I wanted to share with you some examples I used of the intentions that I wrote about things in my own life. So here they are. So I declare my intentions to the universe so I know I'm going to get what I want. I expect what I want without any doubt or worry. And even if I do doubt or worry from time to time, that's fine. I can still be successful. I focus on how I want it to go, not what is my current reality. I focus on the positive outcome, and I see myself already there. I let go and I give it time. I don't need to put pressure on it because I know it's taken care of and it's going to happen. I know and trust it will work itself out without a shred of doubt. I don't indulge in any fear or panic about it. I don't let the fear make me not believe. I don't overanalyze or obsess over it because I don't need to. I trust it's taken care of and it's done. I keep going even if it doesn't look like it's working because I know that it's taken care of and I trust the universe. And I think that's a big one, because of what I went with the job thing, it didn't look like it was working. It actually looked like the opposite, but it worked out the best in the best possible way for me. So I think that's a really good one. I keep going even if it doesn't look like it's working because I know that it's taken care of and I trust the universe. I have the clarity of what I want because I set the intention. I decide it gets to be quick and I decide it gets to be easy. I know this in-between phase is only temporary. I expect it to happen naturally. And I know where I'm going and I make sure I feel good. And once I feel good, then I take aligned action. So I wanted to share those with you just as some examples I used in my own life. But as you go forward this week, I would ask you to start writing your own intentions about the decisions you've made and come at it with that energy of totally 100% without a shred of doubt, believing that it's taken care of, and start to watch your life change. Like, start to watch. Like, not only will your life change, but you will change. You'll feel better. You'll feel like less pressure and like all this energy that is no longer going to like worrying and obsessing and trying to control something. Like, you have more room in your life for to feel good. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things that I've realized about this is I have more room in my life to feel good. So give it a try and let me know what you think. And I am certain without a shred of doubt that this will do good things for you. All right, so that's it for our show this week on You Have a Say in It, deciding that it's taken care of. I'll talk about the 2 songs I chose this week and then close us out. All right, so the intro song I chose was Freedom. The original, obviously written by George Michael, but this is the Cold War Kids version. I don't know. I liked it I liked the song and this song about freedom, like that really, what we're talking about this week with deciding it's taken care of. There's so much freedom in that. Like, if we just believe that, like the level, like the epic levels, I felt at least of freedom in that. Like, it's enough. Like, I don't know. It's like, it feels like it just carries me forward. Like this new, like I call it like almost a new operating system because I'm operating from a completely different energetic space. So that's why I picked that song this week. And I really like the Cold War Kids version. So that's Freedom, George Michael, original Cold War Kids version on this show. Okay, outro song is called Doing Me by Mikey Mike. So this guy's hilarious. You should follow him on Instagram. He's really funny. He actually puts his own cell phone number out there. Just text me if you like the song or if you have comments, whatever. And so the song is called Doing Me. So I wanted to read you part of the lyrics here. Because I won't waste another day living someone else's way. I want to be happy. I want to be free. Fuck what they say. I'm doing me. Right? Like, I'm doing me. And so there's this other verse in the song, and he says, my mama said, but Mike, don't you want to have kids? And then the yell back is, no, I am a kid. And then he says, and chances are if you're going looking, mama, you might find some, because my pullout game just ain't so hot these days. And if you find him, tell him daddy said, follow no man, follow the God within. They'll be coming for your heart real soon. Son, this whole thing is rigged. You're back in the matrix. You got to find your own way out. That part, follow no man, follow the God within. Like, listen to yourself, right? Like, listen to what you're saying inside. Don't seek outside yourself for answers. You have all the answers inside. You have everything you need inside. We are all equipped as humans we have our guidance system. We have our emotions. We have everything it takes to understand and know and make our own decisions. And we're the only one that can make the best decision for us. No one else can do that. So I really like that part. I like the song. I like him. I think he's funny, but really like that, especially for this topic. Like, follow the God within, like follow your own guidance, right? Decide is taken care of. Just decide. And so, all right, that's it for this week on our topic of you have a say in it, deciding it's taken care of. And I would love to know what you think of the episode, or if you have questions, I would love to hear from you. Email Sloane Fremont, SLOANE FREEMONT @gmail.com. My website, sloanefremont.com. Instagram, Facebook, Sloane Fremont. If you like the podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review. I would really like to get some more reviews, so if you would be so kind to please leave me a review, I would really appreciate that. And thanks again for listening. And remember, make the most out of the magic at hand, because there is always magic around you.
'Cause I won't waste another day living someone else's way. I wanna be happy, I wanna be free. Fuck what they say, I'm doing me. My mama said, but Mike, don't you wanna be comfortable? I said, no, I don't wanna be comfortable. I wanna be scared out of my head and lost out of my mind.